Throughout human history, philosophy and theology have grappled with the interplay between virtue and vice, which are often seen as opposing forces fighting for control of the human soul. These forces can either elevate the individual to their highest potential, or conversely, degrade them into a state of spiritual decay. Among the many observations about the destructive power of vice, 5 principles stand out. Pride kills wisdom. Hate kills faith. Lust kills love. Overthinking kills trust. And fear kills courage. Each of these vices target a corresponding virtue that we can attain. And in this video, I will explore with you how these vices corrode the higher self in which we can achieve, unraveling how they unravel human potential and stifle our spiritual growth as individuals. So let's go with the first. Pride kills wisdom. Now, pride is a deceptive force. It presents itself as a self-assurance, a form of self-assurance, a form of confidence in ourselves. But in reality, it is an inflated sense of one's own importance that blinds a person to their limitations. Wisdom, on the other hand, is deeply rooted in humility. You cannot be wise without being humble. The recognition that there is always more to learn is what wisdom is all about and what humility is all about. It is deeply rooted in these things. For the greatest wisdom, we could say, lies in understanding the vastness of what one does not actually know. So when pride takes root, it chokes the space that humility requires to thrive within the person. The proud individual ceases to seek knowledge beyond their own current understanding of the world. They no longer listen to others, for their own voice becomes the loudest in their own ears. Socrates, the ancient Greek philosopher, exemplified the notion that, quote, true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. It is this humility that is the foundation of wisdom, for it opens the mind to continuous learning, critical thinking, and self-improvement. Pride, however, insists that one already possesses these answers. We don't need to seek them out anymore. It blocks out critique, correction, and guidance from others, leaving the proud person in a static state of ignorance. The wise person is constantly evolving, shaped by new ideas and insights. Pride turns wisdom into folly, stifling intellectual and spiritual growth and development. Ultimately, wisdom dies when pride leaves no room for its development. So what is another one of these principles when it comes to virtue and vice? As I said, hate kills faith. Now, hate is an all-consuming emotion, as we all know, one that narrows the mind and heart to only those who are seen as worthy of love and acceptance. Faith, on the other hand, requires a broadness of spirit, whether faith is directed towards God, humanity, or a universal sense of purpose. It is an act of trust and love that transcends individual failings. Hate destroys faith by undermining its foundation of trust and connection. In religious contexts, faith often involves a belief in a divine plan, in the goodness that underpins existence, or in the ultimate redemption of humanity. But hate denies this goodness. It focuses on the flaws, the evils, and the divisions between people, creating a us versus them narrative or mentality within people themselves or groups. In doing so, it fosters cynicism and nihilism as a life philosophy, two of the greatest enemies of that in which we can call faith, or having faith. Faith sees the potential for goodness even in the midst of suffering, while hate amplifies division and conflict. Where faith builds bridges, hate just deconstructs them altogether. In a world filled with hate, faith cannot survive, of course. for it requires a heart open to forgiveness, reconciliation, and a vision of a higher good. Hate suffocates these virtues, leaving faith to wither in the desert of bitterness. Lust kills love. Lust is often mistaken for love because both are intense feelings directed toward another person. However, lust is a desire driven by self-gratification, that of the flesh, as we can mostly see when we talk about lust. It seeks to possess and consume, while love, in its truest form, is an act of giving, nurturing, and self-sacrifice, a form of selflessness, fundamentally. Love seeks the well-being of the other, while lust seeks only the fulfillment of one's own needs and desires on a very physical dimension. When lust dominates, it turns relationships into transactions. The other person becomes a means to an end, an object to satisfy one's desires. Lust is fleeting, and when its fires burn out, little is left but emptiness. Love, by contrast, is enduring and transformative. It grows over time, building trust, respect, and a deep sense of connection that goes far beyond physical attraction. Lust kills love by reducing the complexity and depth of human relationships to mere physicality itself. It blinds individuals to the emotional, to the intellectual and spiritual dimensions of the other person. Where love requires patience, understanding, and sacrifice, lust is impatient, demanding, and self-serving. It leaves no room for the selflessness that love requires. In this way, lust corrodes love from within, hollowing out its meaning until only the husk of desire remains. Another one which we can go over here in terms of principles is that overthinking, the process of overthinking, kills trust itself. Overthinking we can sum up as the endless cycle of doubt, analysis, and second-guessing that paralyzes the mind. While some degree of thought and caution is necessary for wise decision-making, of course, overthinking becomes destructive when it erodes the capacity to trust others, to trust oneself, to trust one's own judgment, whether in oneself, others, or even in the divine, which is required to have faith. You need to trust that in which is divine to have faith to begin with, So trust is an act of surrender, a willingness to rely on something or someone beyond oneself. It involves vulnerability and risk. However, overthinking fosters suspicion and fear. It picks apart motives, analyzes every action, leads to paranoia, and searches for hidden meanings in every word of anything. This constant scrutiny prevents the formation of genuine trust because it keeps the individual trapped in a state of perpetual uncertainty. In relationships, overthinking leads to insecurity. Constant questioning of the other's intentions and the fear of betrayal and things like this, trust cannot flourish in such an environment, as it requires a leap of faith that overthinking refuses to take. In theological terms, trust in a higher power is often essential for spiritual peace. But when one overanalyzes divine plans or doubts the benevolence of the universe or the benevolence of God, however you want to put it, spiritual trust disintegrates into anxiety and doubt. It becomes way more difficult to let go of things, to let God take control. Overthinking thus stifles the trust needed for relationship, faith, and even personal peace with oneself. The last one I'm going to talk about here is how fear kills courage. Now, as we know, fear is a powerful emotion, and it serves an important purpose biologically, survival, for example. However, when fear is not properly managed, it can cripple the spirit and prevent individuals from pursuing their highest potential. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite of it. So courage is a choice made in the face of fear, a decision to press forward even when the outcome is uncertain or very dangerous. When fear dominates, it paralyzes. It whispers of potential failure, shame, and defeat within your own mind, keeping a person trapped in the comfort zone of their own life in which they deem mediocre. So fear often exaggerates threats, making obstacles seem absolutely insurmountable, and challenges appear as catastrophic risks. But courage is built on a deeper belief in something that is more important than the fear that you are experiencing, whether it's a commitment to a cause, the love of others, or faith in a higher power. So fear kills courage by magnifying dangers and minimizing potential rewards. It distorts reality, convincing the individual that avoidance is the safest path. But the truly courageous understand that growth, achievement, and fulfillment lie beyond the boundaries of fear. Fear's ultimate victory is in convincing the soul that there is no path forward, that you have no purpose, while courage constantly seeks new paths, despite the looming shadows that await. So what we can see here is that there is a constant call towards virtue over vice. The principles of pride, hate, lust, overthinking, or the vices, more to say, the vices of pride, hate, lust, overthinking, and fear, each represent a form of spiritual or psychological distortion, away from the good, away from that which is truly good for us and society and humanity in general. They take what is essential to the flourishing of the human soul, which is wisdom, faith, love, trust, and courage, and undermine it from within. Each of these vices masquerades as something necessary or reasonable. Pride as confidence, hate as justice, lust as passion, overthinking as caution, and fear as prudence, all this type of stuff. Yet when left unchecked, they destroy the very virtues they imitate. The call, then, is to a life of mindfulness, self-awareness, and discernment, where one can recognize these vices as they arise and choose instead the path of virtue, the path of that in which is good. It is not an easy task exactly, for these vices are deeply ingrained in our fallen human nature, but through reflection, humility, love, and courage, individuals can transcend these destructive forces, allowing their souls to thrive instead in wisdom, faith, love, trust, and courage. In this lies the true meaning of spiritual and philosophical growth. So as you have seen within this video, the vices of pride, hate, lust, overthinking, and fear can silently erode our inner strength and virtues, leaving us stuck in patterns of consistent limit to our own growth. But you don't have to navigate this inner battle alone. My Shadow Work course, for example, offers a deep, guided journey into your subconscious mind to help you identify and heal these hidden forces from within. Or if you are instead ready for more personalized guidance, my one-on-one coaching sessions will provide tailored support to empower you in breaking free from self-sabotage and reclaiming your true potential. So the time to take control of your inner world is now. So if you are interested, you can, in the description below, enroll in the course or book a free one-on-one coaching session with me and begin your transformation journey today. So thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you in the next video.